Hello, welcome to Self-Help Tarot. My name is Kate, and I thought we could do a tarot reading today to find out what the week is going to be like. Maybe some things to focus on and how to have more self-love in your week. So I thought we could start today by lighting a candle, and we just want to ask for the best and most clear answers and messages that we can get so that you all can live your best life. And so that is fantastic. Now I want you to go ahead and close your eyes and take a big deep breath. And on your out breath, go ahead and open your eyes and tell me, which crystal do you resonate most with? We have Apophyllite, Sodalite, and then this is Jet. So which one are you resonating with most? And the timestamps will be on the screen so you know which reading is yours and where to go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start with the Apophyllite. So I'll move that over there. And what I want to know today from the tarot is just what is the energy of the week going to be like? So what might you be managing this week? What might come up for you? What is it going to be like? We'll go ahead and shuffle a couple times. What is the energy going to be like? Okay, so we are going to cut it. And I'm going to pull 3 cards. Okay, and so far they're all reversed, which is fine. That really just means that it's probably an internal thing you're going through, or it could mean the opposite, but let's go ahead and find out what we think they're saying. Okay, so the first card is the Moon, and this card was reversed, and this card is talking about really kind of working on our shadow side, right? The Moon is really a symbol of shadows if you think about it. Like at nighttime, all the shadows that kind of come from the moonlight. It can also be very magical. It can represent like the goddess, right? And the power and empowerment that the goddesses bring us. But it is reversed. And so this is kind of talking about how your shadow side might get in the way this week. And so when I mean shadow side, I mean the parts of yourself that you don't really like. So it could be your reactions to things. In my practice, we call it the ego. It might be kind of too loud this week. Parts of yourself that you don't like might be kind of rearing their ugly heads this week. So a way to manage that and turn this card upright is going to be about accepting yourself fully, feeling grateful for all that you are, all that kind of stuff. So that is kind of one thing that we think that might be going on this week. And it is a major arcana card, which means it could be some major stuff to kind of manage and bring up. But it's so important journey, right? It's such an important journey. We all have to do that. And this week just seems like it's going to be a week for you to kind of work on some of that. The next one is the 5 of Swords. And this was also reversed. And so this is really talking about, you're going to have some conflict. And you might feel kind of entitled to this conflict, that you need to stand your ground, that what your opinion is right. Remember, swords are thoughts. So it's going to be about opinions and thoughts and choices. And so you might feel like you have to kind of stand your ground, like I said, and there might be some people who don't agree. And so to turn this one right side up, we want to just sort of ground into recognizing that everybody has their own thoughts and opinions, and it doesn't mean that they don't support you or love you. It it could just mean that they look at things differently than you do, right? Which is okay. That's okay. All right, then the last card we've got here is the Ace of Rods, and upright, this card is talking about like new ideas and new passions are being kind of brought into your life, but it was reversed. And so this is sort of saying that we're just feeling kind of stuck. We don't really have a lot of passionate stuff going on this week. We don't really know how to move forward. We know we have some new ideas, but we don't really know what they all mean, and it just feels kind of overwhelming. And so I think that, with all these reverse cards, we've just got some barriers that we're going to have to work through. And I think this is probably the most pertinent one because it's such a major arcana card. And so really being able to focus on how to accept yourself fully, love on yourself even though it's not always easy, and recognize that you're divine and worthy just because you are human. We all are. All of our spirits are. So it's going to be really important so that all these cards can be turned upright and that we can move kind of through this week in a way that feels a little less challenging. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and find out from this deck What is the focus this week? What is it that you can focus on or know about to make the week maybe a little bit easier? That's what we want to know. All right, let's go ahead and cut that. And we've got communication is key. And so right here, it's going to go next to the moon card that's reversed. And we want to just communicate. Make sure that you're communicating your needs. Make sure that you are understanding your own communication and what you want and what you need, how you ask for help, especially when it comes to the stuff about you that you don't like, right? Like, sometimes when we behave in a certain way we don't like, or we think certain things that we don't like, we shut down and we don't communicate. And so this is just reminding us to communicate all that we need and communicate with the people that love us, because that's just going to make this a little bit easier this week. All right, let's go and ask the angels. I've got this angel deck. Let's find out from the angels, what is it that the angels want you to know this week? What do the angels want you to know about your week? Okay. All right, so this is the ocean, and the ocean card is just about, getting into water. Could be taking a salt bath. If you live near an ocean, get into the ocean. And it says, the deep blue sea speaks to your soul, healing and soothing you. Even the act of imagining yourself dipping into its healing womb brings about desirable effects. Better yet, spend time physically near the ocean. Allow its power and beauty to wash away all cares and concerns. So this is amazing, right? Salt water is very healing. It cleans your energy out. It's very, very good for self-care, which could help with this conflict that's going on, right? When you're standing your ground, we could just clear out the energy that we take from others, especially during conflict. And like it says, if you're not next to an ocean, even just imagining yourself dipping into it is going to be really helpful here. And like I said, you can also take a salt bath. Just put some sea salt and some Epsom salt into a bathtub, and you've got it. You're good to go. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull a card from this deck. And I just want to know, what else do we need to know? What else do we need to know? What else is going on about this week for you? What else is happening? All right, we'll go ahead and cut it. And we've got the anchor card. Okay, and the anchor is about, stability and structure. And so if we discipline ourselves and we feel structured and we put the anchor down in our life, meaning that we allow ourselves to kind of dig in and come back to what we know is important, come back to these ideas that we have, that we can turn this card around, come back to feeling good, right? And accepting ourselves and not being in conflict with everybody around us. Come back to being grounded. That is so important. And, in my practice, we do a meditation a lot about using an anchor visualization to ground into the earth. And so this is so important to recognize that, because it gives you stability. Think about what an anchor does for a boat. It makes it stay where it's supposed to stay. It makes you feel confident that you're not going to float away where you don't want to go. So it's really important to set down your anchor and ground into earth, ground into what you know you need to do, accept it for what it is, so we can turn this card around and so you can start moving forward with your passions and your ideas. All right, so let's go ahead and end this reading with one more card about what is the best way for you to focus on self-love this week. What's the best way for you to focus on some self-love this week? All right, we'll go ahead and cut it. And it says creativity. So let yourself be creative this week. And creativity can come in all kinds of ways, right? Maybe you write poetry. Maybe you sing songs. Maybe you are, you don't feel really creative, but maybe you're really good at decorating your home. Let yourself get creative and create. Like I said, creativity comes in all forms. So it says, you love to devise new ideas, innovations, and forms of illumination. And this is even coming back to this card. But we're stuck right now, so we gotta make it go upright by grounding and using that anchor as a symbol. So get into your creativity, which is super mindful, and then we're gonna kind of feel like we can get back on track. All right, okay, well I hope that you enjoyed this reading. Doesn't sound like it's gonna be the easiest of weeks, but with some of these tools, communicating, getting into the ocean, grounding, being creative, I think that you'll be able to turn it around. And let me know how it goes. I'd love to hear in the comments below. Please subscribe and like the video. That helps me out a lot. And also check me out on Instagram. I do daily readings and I'd love to hang out with you over there. And I hope that your week goes well. All right, take care. Thanks so much for watching. All right, let's get started on the Sodalite group. All right, we're gonna first read tarot. So we wanna know, tarot, what the week is gonna be like. What might you be managing? What might happen? Those kinds of questions. So we wanna know, what is this week going to be like? What is the energy gonna be like? So go ahead. Oh, that card jumped out. So we're gonna put that card aside, and let's keep going. Let's shuffle one more time, and we're gonna cut it. All right, and then we're gonna pull 3 cards, and then we'll look at the card that jumped out. Okay, we've got some great cards here this week. Okay, and then this card here, let's see what this is. Ooh, the Magician. Okay. All right, we'll come back to that one. But the first card we've got here is the 4 of Pentacles. And so this card just talks about how this week, there's just going to be some more focus on how you can kind of keep hold of your money, keep hold of your energy. So you might be saying no to things you don't really want to do. You might be reviewing your finances to figure out a plan to make sure that you are saving what you want to be saving. And sometimes we can feel kind of defeated about this. And I think that, we need to turn that narrative around to feel really positive about what we're going to do for our future self, right? So it's really important to think about that. Plus our energy. I think that sometimes we forget that our energy is similar to currency, right? So when we give too much of ourselves away, we don't feel very good. And so this week we might want to feel a little stingy with our energy. So keep that in mind. All right, and then we got the 2 of Pentacles here. And this card is just kind of talking about how do we balance our abundance? What kind of things can we look at? What choices can we make so that we can really tune in and tap into this abundance that's behind this person back here? Right, so sea and boats in the tarot is always about abundance. And so if we look back, like, what can we do, right? He's like managing, how can I make this work so that I can be as abundant as possible? And so just like with this 4 of Pentacles, there's going to be some assessment over what it is you can do to just create as much abundance in your life as possible, okay? And then we've got the High Priestess and the Magician card, which is so curious. This is a good week. So the High Priestess, this card is so good. This is one of my favorite cards in the deck because this character here is all about how we're tuning into the big picture. We're turning into our higher selves. We're grounded. We are balanced. We've got our emotions under control. We've got our passions down. We know what we're doing. And we're really tuned into the higher picture. Like I said, our higher selves, but I mean the bigger picture. That's what I'm trying to say. Because the bigger picture is really how we move forward, right? If we know what's going on and we can look at the bigger picture, then we can go at it all. Okay, and then we've also got the Magician. So in order to do this, we need the energy of the Magician. And the Magician is very balanced with being connected to Mother Earth and connected to the heavens, to spirituality. We've got all of the suits represented here, which just means that we're very connected to our balance, right? We're very balanced, right? So we've got our emotions under control. We've got our abundance managed. We've got our love and our I already said emotions, didn't I? We've got our thoughts managed. That's what I meant to say. And our passions and that stuff. We are good. It's all set. It's all out on the table and we're working with it all and we're managing it all. And it's really magical. And so that is kind of the oversight of this week. So these are just kind of some little details that are going to happen. We're going to focus on managing our emotions. Gosh, I keep saying emotions. I mean, we're going to keep on managing our finances and our abundance and our energy. We're going to be above it all so that we can make good decisions and feel really connected to our higher self. And then we're going to tune into our magic, which is allowing all that stuff to be out on the table, managing our emotions, managing our finance and our abundance, tapping into our passions, and then, of course, our thoughts. Right, so that's the full list. Okay, so that's really great. Let's move these cards up because we're going to pull some other cards. I would like to ask this deck what it is you could focus on this week, because our goal typically is to have a good week, right? So what it is that you can focus on. What's going to help you have a good week? All right. So we've got a time to give rather than take. That's so interesting, especially with all of our pentacle cards that we pulled, because we pulled here This is about really keeping. I guess it's not really giving or taking. But this says a time to give rather than take. So when it comes to energy, maybe it's not the best plan to hold on to our energy. So maybe this really is about finances. And that we want to give our magic, right? We want to help others around us feel as balanced as we feel this week. Okay, so let's just see what we can give to help heal others and be part of others' lives. That's a really good card. All right, let's go ahead and ask the angels. Angels, what do we need to know about our week? All right, we're going to go ahead and cut it. We've got the law of attraction, which is all about manifestation. So it says each thought is an investment that pays immediate dividends, so invest wisely. You have the power to choose your thoughts and align them with love, peace, and harmony. At your request, we will gladly attune your energies to higher frequencies. So it's so important to know that everything that we're thinking about is potentially what we're bringing into our life. Now, don't forget about that, because I do have a lot of clients that really worry about if they're too focused on negative thoughts, does that mean they're always going to be bringing negative stuff in? And that's not necessarily the case. It's really about the balance, or the one that's winning out, right? So if your negative thoughts are winning out, then yeah, you probably are going to be bringing in some negative energy. But if your positivity can be winning out, and yes, of course, you're going to have negative thoughts from time to time because you are human and you're physical, and the physical part of your brain, the ego, is going to have negative thoughts. But we want to be more positive than negative. That's how manifestation works. And to also trust. We want to trust in the universe. And the angels are just telling you that they're here for you and just to ask for their help. And so with this being next to these two cards, right, this is kind of coming back to the abundance and to money. So how do we use manifestation to make good financial choices? So that's really cool. All right, good. Okay, let's go ahead and find out from this deck. I just want to know, what else do we need to know? What else do we need to know about our week? Okay, we'll go ahead and cut it. And we've got the tree. All right, so in this deck, the tree is really about strength, happiness, family, the rainbow, right, which is so balanced and positive. Rainbows always remind me of our chakras, so the chakra system being really balanced. And so really about your roots. So where do you come from? What are your ancestors, kind of what are they about? And this is next to the high priestess. And so in order to kind of look at the big picture, we want to be attuned to our family and our roots and our structure. And think about how trees, have you heard how their roots all talk to each other, right? Like they have like the system where they communicate. So it's the same thing, right? How do we communicate with the people that we are in our families with, our relationships with? So I think that that's the other thing we want to know about this week is stand strong, be tall, right? Be grounded, but also how do we connect into our ancestors, into our family in order to have the bigger picture? All right, I hope that makes sense. All right, lastly, I want to ask this deck about what other thing you can do for some self-love, some self-care. What can you focus on? Might be a task. Let's just see, it might be a mindset. Let's see what this deck has to say. All right, we'll go ahead and cut it. All right, it says responsibility. So you're aware of the power of your thoughts and the amount of love you express. And so to take responsibility, when we take responsibility for our life and ourselves and our behaviors and our emotions and our thoughts, everything shifts. It just changes. When we change from being a victim mindset to taking responsibility and becoming the creator, that's when the law of attraction works. That's when we can tune in and be the high priestess and the magician. That's when all that stuff kind of comes together. And so don't forget, take responsibility for everything going on, even if you didn't even do it. So for example, you got in a car accident, let's say. How do you take responsibility? You take responsibility for how you react. You take responsibility for how you treat the person that hit you. You take responsibility for how you send love out into the universe for that person to be more careful, right? So I hope that makes sense. And I can't wait to hear how your week goes. Let me know. This is a pretty cool week. Please like and subscribe. That helps my channel out a ton, helps me. And check me out on Instagram. I would love to hang out with you over there. I do daily readings. And I hope you have a great day. And please, please let me know. I'd love to hear. All right, take care. Thanks for watching. All right, we're going to get started with the Jet group. So we'll start with tarot. We're just going to find out, what does this week have in store? We want to know what the energy might be like, what you might be managing, or maybe even going through. So what is going to be happening this week? So we'll shuffle a few times. What is going to be happening for you this week? All right, we'll go ahead and cut it. And we're going to pull out 3 cards. Okay, so we've got, first of all, the 5 of Cups reversed. And so this card is really kind of talking about not feeling so good emotionally. We're kind of feeling like maybe a little hopeless, like everything is kind of gone. It was reversed. And so this is, to me, going to be like, we're going to be feeling this way internally. We might not be externally showing it, but we'll be feeling that inside. And I think, really focusing on this green of this cape. Green is about harmony and balance and really tuning into your faith. That's going to be really important. And so to manage, right? Because, wrap yourself in your faith, wrap yourself in balance and harmony to kind of manage your feelings. And, in some ways, it's great that you're not showing your emotions out loud because, we always want to take responsibility for how we manage with our people that we're around. We don't necessarily want to put it out into the world all the time, but it is going to be something that's going to be going on internally. And so with the next card, this is the 8 of Cups. It's going to be a walking away. So there might be something you need to walk away from so that we can feel better, right? So something that's causing you this pain, you're going to want to walk away from it. Okay, we're going to want to walk away. It could just be emotions. Walk away from the emotions. That's okay. You can feel it and move on. But it might be something physical where you need to walk away from something. You need to change your mindset. You need to change the way you feel about something. All right. And then the last card here that we've got is the Justice card, which is reversed. And Justice is about, how do we balance? How do we take responsibility for what's gone on in our lives? It is reversed. And so I think it's going to be a little tricky for you. I think it might be a little hard to find that balance, to recognize that not everything in life is fair, that we all have to kind of manage our internal world and working so that we can manifest and bring into our life what it is that we want. And so this is a major arcana card, just meaning that it's going to be a little bit more important this week to be able to work on how do you take complete responsibility for your actions, your behaviors, your emotions. And in some ways you are, because you're not showing outside of you what you're feeling, but you got to walk away in order to take responsibility. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and find out from this deck here what it is that you can focus on. What else can you focus on? Or not what else, excuse me. What can you focus on this week? Because, ideally we're always looking to have a good week. And this doesn't look like it's going to be super easy. Not necessarily too hard. It all depends upon how intense it is to walk away, right? And when we take responsibility for our life. So let's go ahead and find out what else can you focus on. And it says, show the world the real you. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it looks like the cards are telling us that, we got to turn this upright. We got to be able to show our emotions. That's going to be really important. Show the world the real you. That's really important to be genuine. Okay, that's so interesting, right? We got to be able to show our emotions. Talk to the people in our lives. Tell people how you're really feeling and really doing. Okay? All right, let's talk to the angels. Let's find out, angels, what do we need to know? What do the angels need to tell us about your week? What do the angels need to tell us about your week? All right, we've got the Ocean. This is so funny. We've pulled this a lot today. All right, the Ocean card. This card is about being next to salt water, being next to the ocean. And if you don't have access to the ocean, that's okay. You can take a salt bath. You can even just imagine yourself getting into its healing waters. But let me read it to you. It says, the deep blue sea speaks to your soul, healing and soothing you. Even the act of imagining yourself dipping into its healing womb brings about desirable effects. Better yet, spend time physically near the ocean. Allow its power and beauty to wash away all cares and concerns. So let yourself kind of cleanse your energy, right? That's what salt does. It cleanses our energy. It cleanses everything out. Your chakras get balanced. It might be easier to walk away. And for some reason I'm thinking maybe this is like a physical walk away to the ocean. Maybe you need to get away and go to the ocean. Maybe it's time for a trip if you don't live near an ocean. That is just what came up. It could just be, like I said, get into the bath. Take a salt bath. Do a cup of sea salt, cup of Epsom salt, and let yourself sort of soak at least 20 minutes, and that will do it too. So that'll be really important. Okay, and then lastly, we're going to do 2 more cards actually. But with this deck, I just want to know what else we need to know. So what else do we need to know about our week? What else do we need to know about our week? All right, it's the book. And so the book card is going to be about knowledge, right? So being able to go into your knowledge, go into your intelligence, your cognitive abilities to really work on taking accountability and taking responsibility, which is what this card is telling us. So we want to be able to go into what we know to be true, what the facts are. Maybe it's about reading something new. Maybe it's about kind of going in. I really feel like it's something you already know. Really going into what you already know in order to take responsibility. Okay? All right, and so lastly, we're going to go ahead and pull a card from this deck because I want to know how you can take really good care of yourself this week and have good self-care. Good self-love, good self-care. That's going to be really helpful. It's always helpful, right? We have to be our own best friends. So if we don't treat ourselves well, then the rest of life does not usually work out very well. All right, let's go ahead and cut it. And it says commitment. All right, let's read what this says. It says, you dedicate yourself to your beliefs wholeheartedly, knowing that love is the essence of your very being. So commit yourself. Really commit yourself to being true to yourself and showing your emotions, to walking away from something you don't need anymore. You don't need these emotions. And then really showing up and taking full responsibility and being accountable to yourself about what you need, and commit to yourself. I talk to so many people regularly who struggle with committing to taking good care of themselves. It's really important. So know that love is the essence of your very being. Just, we're going to surrender to that, and we know that. All right, well, if you got value out of this, please like and subscribe. That helps me out a ton. Head over to Instagram. I would love to hang out with you over there. I do daily readings, and it's really fun to kind of see what is going on. And I appreciate that you watched today. Take care. Hope you have a good week.